recording. All right, excellent. All right, calling the Green Community Committee to order here for our meeting on the 15th of December, 2021. Let's see, everybody's here. So quick thing, did you have a chance to look over the minutes?
I did.
All right, Liz, I assume you don't have any issues with them?
I actually do have a correction. I think the meeting might have been on the 9th and I put the 8th.
Okay.
So I think I need to update the date to say September 9th, 2021 instead of September 8th.
Okay, and the other one would be, you have myself, Dave, and yourself as a lowercase on the first letter of our last names. Oh, here comes Matt. Okay.
Okay, so update the
Yeah. All right.
So if you give me the date again, either Liz or Dave, I'll move that we approve as amended.
All right, hold on. Let me just make sure on this thing. 8th or 9th. I'm trying to figure out whether it was the 8th or 9th. I can't even. Oh, hey, Matt, how are you? Okay, I can't tell you right now.
Good, how are you?
All right.
I think I can confirm it by going to the
Oh, I got it.
agendas from the previous meetings. Like
It was, by the way, it was the 9th. It was the
Okay.
9th.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So I had to find the form, but we're all set. Okay. All right. So Matt, did you have a chance to look over the minutes?
I did not yet.
Okay.
But I will.
Oh, hold on. Let me do this then. Share. Screen one. Oh, wait, here we go. Share screen one. Okay. All right. Anything popping up there?
Yep, got it.
All right. Okay. So yeah, so like I said, the first thing was just, the lowercase
Names,
letters
yeah.
on the names, the 9, and everything else seemed good to me on that. And there was nothing really major. We didn't really vote. We didn't vote on anything.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Dave, you made a motion to approve.
Yes. Yes, I did. All we need is a second.
All right. I'll give a second. Am I allowed to do that?
Good shape.
If you're not, I'll second it.
All right, Matt, you second. All right. Everybody approve? I mean, everybody approve?
Technically, Dave, a roll call, just so Elaine doesn't get after you.
Sorry. Okay, roll call is, okay, so and when I call your name, please let me know if you're here. Liz Murphy,
Aye.
Dave Passios,
Aye.
Matt Snyder.
Aye.
Okay, great. All right. So we were up to whether I'll do a roll call vote now on the minutes. So I'll go the opposite order. Matt Snyder, you're
Aye.
approved. Okay, Dave Passios,
Aye.
Liz Murphy,
Aye.
and Dave Blatt gives an aye too. Oh, somewhere in there it's an aye. Okay, excellent. All right, so that's that one. All right, let me stop sharing, and then I'm going to go share. Let me just shrink that down, and just to give you guys a snapshot of this share. Okay. So we had we submitted the annual report. I will send you copies of it. I just getting everything. Let me make this. There we go. Okay. So we managed to spend $64,361 of the grant money. One of the things we missed out on was there was 2 trainings. One was for the town, one was for the school. Unfortunately, the school did not have anybody in place in time. So the school, we lost out on that. And that was this, where was it? Appliance, pipe, water. Oh, building operation certificate, this 4360. So we lost out on 4360 of grant money on that. But we got a lot of come on, get out of there. We got a lot of projects completed, including a lot of appliances, lighting, refrigerators, hot water replacement, and then $10,000 towards 2 of the police vehicles that are now hybrids. And so and then money towards the fixing up this public safety building. A lot of the issues that were at the public safety buildings. So I thought it was a very good round. We've been making a lot of progress. So supposedly we're going to have a projected annual savings of $10,830. And like I said, that's what we got. Any questions on this? I'll send you guys a copy. I apologize. The rest of it, there was really not much else. There's no stretch code compliance. We're complying with the stretch code because there really isn't one. Vehicle inventory, there's only 4 vehicles that don't fall under the Green Committee criteria. And because they're all town built, they're all seen for public safety type of applications, then they're exempt. So we don't have any issues there. What was this one? The little report on the PV systems. So the annual cost, the cost of doing the 3 PV systems installation was $150K. We saved $52,000 a year by doing those. So I think they're well worth the amount. We generated about 450 million kilowatts. No, I'm sorry, 450,000 kilowatts, 450 million watts on that. And ECMs, we went over that. And criteria 1 and 2, there was no change in that. Building 2. Oh, a brief idea of how we've been doing over the years. We did get hit when we did the new high school. We did get hit because Passios is still being heated. However, we showed over the past from the baseline of what we had over the past 3 years, we've had a 9.4 savings in total energy usage. The big one is that we've taken a hit on the water and sewer. This line right here is the water and sewer. We're up, but we seem to be doing good on other areas.
Dave, how do we improve that number? Or what does it take to improve that number?
Getting our water and sewer place to give us a cheaper rate. I don't know. I'm not sure how we can improve it. On that. And I don't know why it's seen as, well, I guess it's seen as energy savings. I guess if we use less water, we'll have less sewer. But no, I would think the sewer is a fixed cost.
I think the sewer is a rate based on water usage, at least in Fitchburg it is.
Okay.
That's my understanding too, yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't have sewer here, so I can't let you know. I don't know what the way it works. Okay.
So we'd have to find some way to conserve water to bring that down.
Well, we've been bringing it down. It went up in 2019 significantly,
Yeah,
but we've been bringing it down over the years.
okay.
Okay. So, and I think a lot of that had to do with the when they moved from the new, to the new high school. There's more there's more programs there. There's more shower usages. There's more in general usages for the building versus, if you remember the old high school, I don't think half the kids wanted to shower after a game or any kind of sporting event at that place. So I know my daughter would come home and shower instead. So I think maybe that's a difference.
Do any of our schools?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Liz.
I was just going to ask if any of our schools have like sprinkler systems for the lawns. Like, is that a factor here?
I don't think so, but we can ask on that.
Yeah, because you've got irrigation systems, the schools and some of the parks, town common. There's a number of places that are irrigated for lawn purposes.
Yeah. there might be some, I mean, I don't know how that's managed, but there are definitely times where the irrigation system could be shut off if we've been like basically last summer. We had rain for from July through September.
Month.
Yes. First time in my life I've drained my pool, not filled it through the summer, but okay.
So we had puddles in Marshall Park, yet the irrigation was coming on in the middle of the night on top of that.
Okay, so
You should pay attention to that.
okay, so perhaps we can talk to, I'll talk to Rob about that. Okay.
You think the water use, I don't know how significant it would be, but do you think COVID with less use of bubblers and stuff at the water fountains at the schools would
Then
result in a
probably
reduction?
Increase hand washing though. I think
That's
probably
true, right? So maybe it
doubles
offsets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And actually they have at the school, they have those fancy things now where you can fill a water bottle.
Yeah, the bottle
Which-
filling stations, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
those-
probably uses a lot more water than when you just took a sip because nobody
Yeah.
wanted to touch the water fountain, right?
Yeah,
That type
true.
of thing. Yeah. Okay. Oh, the good old days. And I actually looking at that number, it must be mostly from, yeah, it's like, we definitely have to look at the irrigation and stuff like that. And we'll take a look through that, it's not significant, it's significant, but it's not the hot, one of the higher energy usage, but it is one that doesn't seem to be going down. It seems to be that and weather normalization consumption. I'm not sure what that is. Weather normalized consumption without building stock. Oh, okay. All right. That's all right. I'll have to get into that a little bit more, but you can see, like we had the buildings went up last year, even though, well, 2020, I guess we got the benefits of buildings being closed, town buildings.
Right.
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 Okay. All right. I think we're doing pretty, if you look at 20 versus the baseline, I guess we're doing pretty good so far for a
Yeah.
town that's really things like that.
Yeah.
All right. So let me do a stop share a second. And the next thing I had was basically, I was hoping to get from Heather, and I apologize, an update on where we are with the lawyers talking to each other on the when it comes to the streetlights. But I don't feel like any progress has been made so far from the last time I spoke to her.
Dave,
So-
did you get the message that they have filed with the state?
Actually, I did not. So that they did file?
Yes, it's been filed with the Department of Public Utilities. So
Okay,
the clock should be ticking.
excellent. That's real exciting news. Okay.
Do we
Okay.
know when? So who would have filed that? The attorneys?
Yeah, the town council, I believe, filed it.
Right. So they filed the, what is that called? Do you know? I'm sorry.
I don't know exactly.
So
It's
the
some sort of a-
notice.
Yeah, it's some sort of an assistance program where they'll help us mitigate the question of the cost of the infrastructure.
All
Heather
right.
announced it in some meeting sometime in the last 2 months, but I honestly don't remember where. And it was in response to a question. It might have been Finance Committee.
Yeah, I would think so, because we have, unfortunately, like I say, I apologize, guys, but we haven't met since September. So as Dave, as you know, we were trying to get through the TC Passios and all the other committees first and town meeting first. So
So if the clock is ticking, did I remember that because I just recently looked at the minutes. I think it was 60 days that we have. Does that sound right?
It would be no more than 90, but 60 sounds right. Liz?
Okay. So the clock is really ticking then.
Yep.
We need to come to agreement on a purchase price. Is that what it is ticking for?
Yeah, they will assist us in doing that. I don't know if they have the power to impose a price. I'd have to go back and look at that process again.
all right, so I'm gonna do let me go back to a share here. I'm sorry. So do we have any public comments from the committee members?
No.
Public comments from the public, seeing nobody from the public is with us. So I guess we'll move on. So the next thing is moving to the next step for us, which is getting out a proposal for LED streetlights, the conversion.
Hmm.
So I think, I believe when I looked through my notes in the last meeting, we felt that we would like to go with a designer and then move to and have the designer being the one helping us with the contractor is.
Yes.
So what I tried to do is I took what I had from Air with their request for proposal and mocked it up to look like Lunenburg. And I know I just threw it to you guys last night, but I put some dates down of like, say, March 1st, this thing going out, giving them the end of the month of March to get it back. Let me go down a little bit. I made up a number for it. I got to talk to Rob, but I think it's actually probably going to be Heather. That would be the person that you could obtaining the RFP. It would probably be Heather, not Rob on that. So I'll have to update that. I thought their proposal was very, very good when it came to laying out the scope of work and the deliverables on it. Being that, let me go down a little bit. This is all mom and pie, Apple Sky. Oh, I got to change that from National Grid to.
Oh, if only it was National Grid.
Yeah, I know.
Dave, when you get to page 9, it's got the same issue.
Okay. All right. Project goals was basically safety. This is all okay. Scope of work and deliverables. The feeling was as they talked first about an inventory assessment. This is going to get. I know it might be late now, but it'll at least give us what lights are working, and what lights aren't. As well as just making sure that everything is there that we said was supposed to be there on there.
So this looks like if they're doing this kind of an inventory, they should be able to assess whether or not we should replace like the entire arm on certain fixed light poles versus just do the LED light bulb replacement.
That's correct. So if you have corrosion, obstruction,
Yeah.
any other data relevance,
Dave, will they do a comparison for us to not even consider that and what the cost what the savings might be if we just go with a complete change out whole fixture, the whole 9 yards, because there's a savings in install.
we can always ask on that, right? So maybe that's something on the inventory. Let me go down a little bit on the deliverables. Or perhaps that's something, let's go down a little bit on the deliverables and figure out what we have.
If they can't do that, what I think maybe what we could do is when we put the RFP out, we could ask for an alternate, ask them to give us a bid on an alternate, and then replacing the entire arm instead of just the light would be the alternate. But that wouldn't be
problem. Sorry, was part of the problem there is that they're not going to know what condition the wiring of the poles are in unless they start taking them apart.
Agree. In fact, talking to folks who have done this, they felt that was the biggest unknown that they ran into, is that half of them, the wires were no good, or they might have been good for the electrical company, but they weren't good for the next person to tap onto. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, based on the lack of maintenance since we started this process from Unitil, I'm guessing that we're going to find an awful lot of fixtures and wires that are not going to be compatible with the changeover.
Yeah, especially since we've gone away from the 5-year cycle, for the past 3 years. Yes.
We changed, I think you can count on both hands what they've changed in the last 5 years.
Exactly. Okay,
So if they, can that, the state of the wiring be assessed visually without like getting into the, fixture replacement? Or is that something that we're just not gonna know until they start doing the work?
I don't feel like they, they're gonna be able to get a good picture of that because, it's unless I guess you're sitting there with binoculars and can you really see it at that point?
Usually, most of the problems are inside of conduits or inside the pump.
Yeah. My feeling is that some of these poles, like water's gotten in there, and this thing has just been sitting there for a long time. Because when they gave us the maintenance of the heads, they didn't really give us any indication of when the last time arms were changed or any kind of maintenance like that was done on these, unfortunately.
Is this going to include any recommendation for new locations? Is this going to assess if we have adequate lighting period, or is this just looking at direct replacement?
So this is looking at this first item. The first task is just doing an inventory of and a assessment of what we have.
Gotcha. Okay.
The second deliverable inventory summary, quantities, type of wattage,
Yep.
that contains the required attributes of files. Okay, so that's fine. Financing assistance, design. Here we go.
Gotcha.
Helped the town determine design LED street light, including the brand of light, photo cell replacement. Could culminate in replacement, but sorry.
Are we actually asking this designer to look at the task 2 financing assistance?
I would look at it. I mean, they can mention the green, they can mention other grants. Perhaps there's other grants or other things that they know about.
Okay,
I mean, hey, if we find one that could do this another way and pays for it, that's all the power, right?
right.
Opens up our grant round for something else. So I think here where we talk about number 5, including an analysis of areas for special consideration, they might warrant deviations.
Yep.
Do we want to look at, do we want to expand this to parks, schools, hospitals, but to say intersections or things like that? What is it implied in your mind, in your thoughts?
High traffic areas.
Yeah, I guess I was just wondering if it's, when's the last time anybody looked at, do we have proper illumination throughout the town, period, right? I mean, we have a set of streetlights that exist. There's some roads that are less lit and darker than others. But that, I don't know if that's going beyond what our scope is. So I might spell it out a little more clearly, because that looks to be more about like in an area where there's a park, in an area where there's a school, in an area where there's a hospital or other type locations, make sure there's more lighting. Well, are there recommendations for better lighting on back roads that we don't have lighting on, or is that not something we need to consider?
I'd avoid considering it in this, just because I think that is really what public safety should be recommending.
Yeah.
And we're kind of getting into like, now for adding streetlights, how does that impact the savings
Right.
that we're gonna have if we just
Right.
add to the lights?
2 comments. I interpreted that paragraph as stating these areas that are already lit, to evaluate the fixtures that are already on those properties. Secondly, at some point, I think we need to cover redundancy. One in particular that's just arisen recently is the town common. And I'm guessing that the light fixture that's in the front of the Ritter lighting town common is probably one of those specialty ones because it's rectangular shaped and it's high wattage, and when it works properly, it lights up the entire common. But just recently with the rewiring of the common for the Christmas lights, they've also included ground lighting to illuminate the flagpole. And that was the biggest reason for that big light being on that pole across the street, was to make sure that the American flag was illuminated. So that intersection might be able to be evaluated as to whether we need that specialty fixture.
Okay. So if I added here, like instead of hospitals, putting down like intersections, would that make sense?
Well, we're going to cover streets anyway.
Right, it
But
sounds like
probably would.
we're looking for them to recommend on this current scope of lighting that we have. We're not looking for them to go outside of that and say, this is a dark area, we think you should light this.
Right.
We're looking for them to say, based on your current lighting, here's our recommendations on what to replace them with to have energy savings, but also potentially improve the lighting in that specific location based on its needs.
Right, or using a different type of
Right.
fixture or bulb for something special like the town common or a park or playground or something.
Right. And I think a lot of that's covered here with yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
The
we're
other
good. I
point
just wanted to
being-
make sure our scope was replacing kind with energy efficient and what their recommendations are, not expand lighting based on the, right. So
Right.
I'm good.
And if that is the case, if there are certain, I guess before this goes out, we could ask the public safety folks if they feel like there's any areas that they would like to see a light,
Right,
and we could have that added. I mean,
right. And
this is our one chance I look at, right?
yep, that'd be a more cost-effective way to handle any improvements. If they're already going to come to do this, you lump it all together, but right, we engage them at that point.
Okay.
And would
Perfect.
I
the
agree that-
designer get into that though, or would that just be added to the RFP? You know, like it would be a recommendation from police or town or somebody that to add a light here, but do we need the designer to take a look at that?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
The other concern is that for every fixture you add, it decreases from your overall savings with the project. So you don't want to mess with that too much.
Right.
Understand, but however, I mean, we're well within the ROI, the rate of, the amount of years for the amount of months for an ROI on this project that they would need for the grant. And we could always look at it too, is that possibly the grant is for the present lights?
Yeah,
And-
that's what I was wondering.
If the town would vote to add the additional lights type of thing.
And you may be able to get money from Rob. That would be a discussion with him
Right.
on one given year out of facilities or whatever that's covered under. There may be some money, especially at the end of June, that could be encumbered to add a handful of lights or whatever.
Right.
Guys, I gotta bail out, but you guys are the experts on these documents anyway. Like I said, the only thing I had was to make sure that the name of the utility gets changed through the entire document. Otherwise, I'm good.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Dave. Have a good night.
Good night.
All right. So deliverables, as we talked about, finalize design map, update the GIS, final quantities and models of luminaires, analysis of gross cost savings incentives. So this is for us to apply for the grant, right?
Mhm.
To help us to do that. Stamp drawings for professional are not required for this task, right? Because we're not asking them to do anything. Assist in the procurement on that, because I think based on what we've heard from Heather and from others, that this town's not equipped, the town doesn't have the manpower to do it ourselves. So I think this task 4 is important.
Mhm. So that's the procurement of the products.
That's
not
correct.
it's not oversight of the project, though.
Not yet.
Well,
not
I
yet.
mean, not yet, not in that task.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And then okay, to ensure proper scheduling. Okay. Then task 4, deliverable, secured pricing for quantities and models of luminaires and necessary fusing. Okay. Then we have develop installation and maintenance specification, fine. Such work will include a specification language, that's fine.
Dave, not a big deal, but it looks like there's a typo right there in task 4. Should be appropriate delivery schedule. I'm sure.
Deliver, oh, yeah,
Yeah,
all right. Hey, that's Air's fault, not me. Okay.
exactly. We're gonna do it better. We're gonna do it
Yes, exactly. All right. Such work will include the description of work, required installation, order of street or areas to be retrofitted, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Can I keep going down?
better. Yep.
Yep. So here is where they are doing project management, the installation management.
Yes, yes.
Excellent. So Heather may have some, if their capacity is limited, I think that she will want to take a closer look at this management process and make sure that everything they need to do is captured in here.
Right.
Okay, exactly. Okay, excellent.
I
Okay.
assume that she's going to look at the whole thing anyway.
Yes, I
But it
agree.
looks
That's kind of why, I have the March date on here, is I didn't
Yeah.
think, with the holidays, I didn't think anybody's going to be doing anything.
Right.
I like this. Vendor should require installer to allow vendor to inspect the light from installer's bucket truck. So we could, they can go up there and make sure everything's being done, right?
Yep.
Should be unannounced to the installer. I like that too. Online portal, that's all mom and pop. Apply for the rebates themselves. Okay, I think this seemed all pretty good for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good RFP.
All right, so yeah, so we have the terms and conditions, blah, blah, blah. I like this, there shall be no reimbursable expenses. I like that. All right. Oh, he did say on page 9, there was the word Unitil. I think he said there was the word Unitil again. Hold on, bear with me a second here.
The
Oh, here it is, right here. National Grid.
National Grid. Yeah.
Okay,
I wonder if we can do like a find and replace through the whole thing.
I can here, bear with me here. I learned that. I learned that as I was doing this. You ready? You just go on here. Hold on, I can go copy a control C, and you go on replace and find what? Control V and replace with till, and then you just do replace all. And only one thing was left.
Nice.
Good
All
job.
right, 4 replacements. Okay. All right. Oh, I had them up here too. Yeah, the Unitil here, Unitil
Yep.
there. Okay, yeah. All
Did
right.
you do the same with air?
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's why all the Lunenburgs, town of Lunenburg now versus there. And
Yep.
then every time there was a quote number, I changed the quote number. So
Nice.
every once in a while, we learn after 30 years with
Right.
Microsoft Word, I might actually learn something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks to the good people at Microsoft.
Yes, exactly. They probably look at what people at Google and others are doing and they copy it like they always do,
Yeah.
but that's all right. All right. I like this, in no event shall payment be made in advance of services provided. So that there's a single payment. All right, this was all basic. I think this is all basic. I think this was all basic too.
Mhm.
I didn't really see anything here. Provided the town has, okay. Writing of via email, so that was fine. Selection is within 30 days. That's the only, so I know we can do the selection within 30 days. It's a matter of, if we're gonna do this with grant money. I got it. I can't remember what Kelly told me. I apologize. I'm gonna ask Kelly to join the next meeting,
Mhm.
for that reason, but I can't remember whether we can, do a grant, ask for grant money in after the fact. So in other words, if the town put out the money to do the designer, and then we had the designer, and then we had the install as under one grant,
Gotcha.
Mhm.
okay? Right, so that even though we paid it out, we'd still be reimbursing ourselves for the grant. I mean, for the designer part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Everything else seemed a lot of other stuff. Company qualifications. I think I had that. Yeah. So work on projects over 300 streetlights with 336. So that's fine. I don't know if anybody's going to be doing under 300 streetlights. If they've done any kind of municipal project at all. I think we're a small project compared to most towns.
Mhm.
Let's see, project team. The rest of it I thought was pretty okay. I don't know if you guys saw anything.
I would think it's probably fairly standard boilerplate
Mm.
procurement language.
Okay,
Um,
I'm just
that-
looking, yeah.
yeah. So Heather probably has like boilerplate language for Lunenburg for these types of RFPs that she'll compare this stuff to.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that came up at the last meeting, whether there was a specific template, but I think she had, like you said, probably has past RFPs to compare to, but I don't know that we have our own template. It's more of a, are these specific terms covered or conditions
Yeah.
covered, right?
Yeah, there's like things that are specific to the kind of work that you're doing that change from
Right.
RFP to RFP, and then some things are just about state procurement law.
Right.
A lot of the stuff at the end, I think, is just state procurement law, and they can look slightly different between towns, but basically they're the same thing.
Yeah.
okay, let me keep going here. And yeah, I didn't really see any kind of spelling or, I mean, there probably is a couple of language mistakes, but I didn't really see any that blared out at me on this thing.
Yeah.
But as you guys
So-
mentioned, I mean, I'll leave that up to Heather or Rob to review that for that.
So the comparative evaluation criteria, I'm sorry if I'm not actually, did I move beyond where you guys are? I have
Hold
the
on.
document open.
What section are you on?
It is page 14.
Up,
Sorry, I got ahead of you.
there you go. No, that's all right. So let's,
So
so,
that all says 500 streetlights.
oh, okay, I didn't
So
change
we
that.
want to
Okay,
update that.
all right. 300, okay. Yeah, Air had more streetlights than we had,
Yeah.
a lot more. I think they were in that 600 range. of streetlights.
Mhm.
Okay, let me go to the next one on this
Yeah,
one.
there's a few more of those.
Oh, okay, over 5, okay.
Yeah, every single one of them has the same.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have done that search and find then, huh? Okay. Hey, guys, can you give me like 5 minutes
Sure.
to jump off a second? Sorry. Okay, if you want to jump ahead and chat, feel free and I'll correct as you go.
Of course, you can't scroll through the thing.
I was gonna
that's-
say, yeah, we're sort of stuck on. its
I can look, I have another version of it open.
Right.
But honestly, the rest of this stuff is pretty, like, it's the forms, it's not
Yeah.
stuff that, maybe a few things will be updated, but it's just the stuff that's specific to Lunenburg.
Right. Right. No, and I mean, we can all take a look and just provide comments that we then discuss at the next meeting too, right?
Yeah, I would hope that we could do that.
Right.
And get a draft over to Heather to start reviewing, but us continue to review
Right.
while she's reviewing.
All right. All right, so let me see if I have 500 anywhere else. Okay. Let's see.
So there is, they're using some acronyms and they're using a project number in this document that is probably going to be updated with Heather. They're calling it RFP
Oh,
22 GCC01 LED.
that's what I made that up.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. So I figured we get our name and fame. We got GCC, Green Community
Communities
Committee.
Ah,
Okay. So, and it's our first proposal. Okay. So
True.
of 2022. So no problem there. So I threw that in there. They had something else there.
No, that's smart.
Okay. Every once in a while we think we get to, I had that wonderful moment at 11 when we did this. This is all the certificate pages.
Yeah.
And it's funny, but the one thing I can't, price proposal, fine. Let's see, this is the only thing I had trouble with, changing these last few pages and getting our information in here in a nice looking format. So I'll look again to see what I have. I don't understand what light sequence number should mean. And I don't think we need a lot of this stuff on here, but and you can see where I took Town of Air, it went to Town of Lunenburg already on all of these. So
Oh, right.
yeah, so I'll eliminate these pages and before sending it over to Heather and upgrade that with our data in there.
So this is a Word document. You should be able to insert a table or an Excel spreadsheet if you have it in Excel.
Right, that's what I thought, but if I did
Yeah.
insert table, but
I
don't wanna-
sometimes have a little trouble with that.
Yeah, I never
But I've
remember.
done it.
Yeah, I never
I-
remember where that is.
I feel like you can, if you have the Excel file, you can copy what's in Excel and then paste it in and it'll come in that tabular format too, but
It might.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I had done streetlights. Oh, well, I see what I did. I did it as a PDF and
Oh.
that didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, that's not gonna be so friendly.
Right.
so let
I
me
mean,
see if I
you
can.
could convert the PDF to a picture and then insert the picture, but it's better to have the Excel spreadsheet.
Yes, account number. Okay, this one didn't have the polls, so I had this. Oh, sorry, you're not gonna be able to see that because I'm not sharing that part of it. So I have, that's the only thing I hate about Zoom. You gotta change every time you want to share something, you gotta change. Okay, you can't just pop it in. So I had this, I made up,
Okay,
but it just gives the address It doesn't give the poll
Hmm.
number, right? I have another, I think there's another one that had the poll number. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I'll take this, sorry. Stop share, do this again. All right, share. And let me just do it this way, screen one. I can just pop things in. So I have this, I'll take this one as
Yeah.
an Excel and stick it in there. I just want to take out the total amount billed and those lines
Mhm.
off there. Because I definitely don't want that. I don't think they need that information. Oh, I know what I did here. Okay, I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of my subtitle. So this was the one, Matt, I'm not sure if you saw this, but if you had joined in time for this, but you see in 2014, they changed 51 lights.
Yep. Yeah, I think I saw this once before and we
Yeah,
saw, yep,
88 lights. 2016, 100. Well, 2017, 91, and then 18, 2, 19, 0, 2022. You know? That had been, well, that would change, yeah, that would change that year.
Yeah.
It's incredible what these guys are doing. All right, so I will take out the subtotals, take out the total amount billed and add this to the, well, I'll leave off the lamp change information as well.
Right.
And I'll retabulate it based on street address.
And I think the sequence on theirs might have to do, somewhere in the RP, it talked about the designer dictating an order of replacement. So I wonder if they did it like in batches, like this is the first batch because this is the highest priority area or the highest use area or something like that. That's what I'm guessing, but
Okay.
I don't know that we need to, because it's like a bunch of 2s, some 3, 4s, 2s. So I wonder
Yeah.
if they,
Then they have the
That was-
zero, which I have no idea what that would be.
Right.
Yeah.
That could also be total crap too.
Right.
It
Right.
might have something to do with the poll number, poll suffix, and that is an actual light label or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, interesting, because look at this. If you look at this one, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be, yeah, let me see if I can highlight. Okay, but the lamp wattage, so there's a pole, but there's no bulb. So that's what
Oh.
the sequence zeros are.
Oh,
I have no idea why they would do that.
huh.
Maybe they're marking down every pole they have. I don't know,
Yeah,
Weird.
it's just
I
weird.
guess we don't really need to know.
right, exactly. We can just,
Exactly. So we won't worry about that at all. And
Right.
it's interesting. So, they've been doing like 50 watts, mostly 50-watt bulbs. There's some higher wattage. And when you look at ours, it's, oh, this doesn't give the wattage, this one. Where's my one with the wattage? Excel, town of. That one doesn't give that. That's the same one. That doesn't give the wattage. Don't save. And this one here. Yeah, this one gives the wattage. So you can see, I guess 50 is the standard.
yeah, pretty standard, it looks like, right?
Okay. All right. And you can see the pricing change, right? From a 50-watt to a 100, to a, well, 200-watt, you double, but 100 watt. So it's about, that's interesting. So from 50 watts to 100 watts, you only go up 50%. But you go up, so anyway, just interesting how they figure out the dollar figure for these things, right? Because I would think it would be totally based on wattage.
You would think.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
you
yeah.
incur a certain amount of energy usage every time it comes on or something.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Because yeah. So in fact, if I do this, let's do this by sort from Z to A. No, that didn't work. Light style. Get rid of that. Light style. if I go up 200 watt. So we have quite a few 200s here. And I would look at these as probably old lights, that original lights that they've just never done anything to.
But
Because,
look at their addresses. They're all like the main corridors.
yes,
Ave, Electric, Summer, Whalum.
yeah, the only ones like Townsend Harbor, Chase Road.
Yeah.
Yep, yeah. So maybe it's Lakefront Road, Summer Street, West Street. I don't know about West Street and Lakefront, but
Yeah.
it sounds like these are all the major routes for us.
Right.
And then if we go into the, oh, there's 400 watt bulbs too.
What? Wonder where that.
Wayland and Lakefront.
So those
So-
places are nicely lit up.
And
I
you
wonder
got,
if that's right on the waterfront of the Whalum Lake.
yeah,
Right.
but still, we're looking at roads. We look at, I would think this is probably from when Wayland Park was around. They used to light it up big time.
That
And, do we really need to do that now?
right. Yeah, maybe some residents would appreciate having something not quite as bright
Yes.
shining into their
yes.
windows.
Yeah, and so here we have a 400. Let me go back to the other one here. Word request for proposal. Let me see if 250, 250, 250. Bunch of 250s. Oh, they got one
There's one.
400
Yeah.
on Pleasant Street. They had one 400. Oh, another one here on Shirley Street. And I would think, yeah, so Shirley Street. But you can see how, we have more, we have the same amount of 400s as they have in this town.
Hmm.
So I definitely look at the designer to look at that. I mean, there's
Yeah,
no
it's a
reason why we,
decent- Right.
if it's not required by law, what are we really doing at this point?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay, so guys, let me take the action. I'll update that final table, putting in this information from this form in there and submit it to Heather. Hopefully we can get this ball rolling on this thing. And I'll also look to have an update on the, we'll get an update on what's going on. Well, I should say by the begin, it sounds like by sometime in January, we should have an update, hopefully on the streetlight purchase as well. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So between now and then, do you want us to go through with the, go through a little finer tooth comb kind of review concurrent with what Heather's doing and just come to our next meeting with any additional comments we have on this? Is that?
Yeah, you can send me some comments. It's just you have to send it directly to myself and not copy everybody.
Okay.
So what I can do is I can add those comments.
Oh, and then we'll
Uh,
just review all of them together. Gotcha.
Exactly. So I'm trying to keep you guys with the family as much as you want.
Honest.
Yeah, well, not
Yeah.
honest, but I got yelled at because, that's part of, I guess, open meeting law. You can't show each other because after all,
Gotcha.
we have so many folks come to the meeting type of thing. Okay.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think it's about like if people start talking to each other, if we're having a group conversation and we have a quorum by email,
Yes.
it should be a meeting. It's
Right.
like we're
Okay.
violating open meeting laws.
Okay. right.
So yeah, so if we all just email our comments to Dave and then he disseminates it back out to us, then we're not having a group conversation.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So I'll
that
take,
works.
I'll take care of that, and everything like that. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna move on. You okay with me moving on?
Mhm.
All right. So I'm gonna look for, once again, we're supposed to say, public comments from the group. Public comments from the audience. Hearing none. Any other topics you guys wanted to discuss at all at this point? I have to reach out. There is a new facilities manager at the school that they've hired. I haven't met him yet. It's also a John.
Well, that's easy. That
Yes, so I will I will, reach out and see if he can join our next meeting for
Okay.
that. And also, John, Mr. Londa is, I think he's already approved on the Orleans Green Committee, and the Green Committee down in
Oh.
Orleans. So
Oh,
obviously,
Good for him.
we all inspired him to keep himself going and things like that. So
I'm sad that he didn't stick around here long enough that he could actually formally be a member of this Green Communities
yes,
Committee.
exactly. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Matt, but town employees can't be members of the committee.
Right,
A voting member, I should say.
right.
And for the amount of time he gave this group, it was like, he is a taxpayer.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
okay, excellent. All right. So as far as next meeting, I'll look for Heather's guidance first as to what's going on. I don't think it's necessary to have one before we know what the story is with the streetlights.
Mhm.
Okay,
We can do things ourselves. So I'd be looking at at the earliest, late January, probably early February for the next meeting. At that time, I'll look to have Kelly join as well. So for the green communities, so she can outline the grants and what we're doing and how we have to do this as well at that time.
okay.
Okay. All
Great.
right. All right. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh,
All right.
second.
Yeah.
All in favor, roll call vote, Matt,
Aye.
Liz, yep, I see the hand up,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye. Okay, guys, I thank you very much for your time today. And more importantly, enjoy your holidays if you can.
Thank you, you too.
All right,
You
enjoy.
too. Take
Bye all.
care.
Take care, guys.
See you next year.
You got
Yeah.
it. Yes, take care.